Alright bitches, let's learn how to score in NHL 21.
He scores! What a goal!
In this video, I've broken it down into 3 extremely consistent ways of how to score in NHL 21. Now before I get into the first scoring strategy, I'd like to mention that these can be used in every single game mode this year, such as Ultimate Team, Hut Rush, EA SHL Club, and probably even Be a Pro. This year, the name of the game is definitely speed and acceleration. You're going to see teams with quicker players are going to find it easier to get around their opponent's defenseman and probably put up 1 to 2 goals a period. But regardless of how your team performs, I'll be able to teach you how to put the puck in the back of the net. Even if your team is slow as shit, or even if you still have silver players on your second line, make sure you stay tuned because this is going to be a key guide to how you score in NHL 21. Alright, so this year we're starting off with the cross crease one-timers. This is definitely the #1 way to score in NHL 21, and I've noticed that it's a lot easier to force that pass through the slot than last year in NHL 20. Now in order to get the best opportunities for one-timers, I suggest putting all of your left-handed forwards on the right wing and all of your right-handed forwards on the left wing. This will allow your players to be teed up and in prime position once you feed that pass across. Now there's always those instances where your forwards get crossed over and they're on the wrong side from where you designated them to be in your lineup. That doesn't seem to be too big of a deal this year considering there are many animations for how your player receives or shoots that one-time pass. You'll notice that if your players aren't teed up and if they're on the wrong side, they'll still find a way to chip, deflect, redirect, or risk that one-timer past the goaltender no matter what. Kinda like that shot right there. Now if you plan on using the one-timer consistently every game, which I suggest you do, another quick tip that I have is changing your offensive strategy to overload. You can do this manually in-game when changing your forward lines, or you can do it under the strategies tab in your settings. Doing this will allow the weak side wingers to try and open themselves up in the offensive zone for that one-time pass through the slot. An extra thing you can do is aim where you'd like your one-time shot to go. Pay attention to how the goalie is moving from post to post. If you notice he might have you beat on the short side, aim that shot far side or vice versa. Now another thing I'd like to touch on is that in previous years we've been able to hit one-timers from the point with our defensemen. This year it isn't consistent at all, and in fact I would refrain from trying to do so. One-timers from the blue line have been very weak in 21, and the only way I was able to score like this was actually from a tip by my forward in front of the goaltender. So that's my take on one-timers in NHL 21. In simpler terms, all you have to do is try to force that pass through the middle of the offensive ice and have your player on the other side bury that bitch. Alright, now we're going to cover breakaways and those mini one-on-one opportunities with the goaltender. You'll get maybe 1 or 2 chances like this a game, therefore you have to capitalize on this, especially if you're trailing by a couple of goals. If you have quicker players, this is going to be a huge advantage to you, as it'll be easier to burn past those computer and manual defensemen in the neutral zone or if they're stationary on the blue line. The most consistent way to score on a breakaway or on a mini one-on-one is by going backhand, backhand with a shot, or forehand, forehand with a shot, trying to tuck it on that short side. By doing this, you'll be protecting the puck from any trailing defenseman and also making the goalie bite, opening up that short side of the net. All that's left is to bury that motherfucker. Now this might just be me, but I've noticed that it is a lot easier to score on the goaltender's glove side on a breakaway. Now I do come up on the right wing a lot more than I do on the left wing, but the goalies in this game are usually stronger on that blocker side as it is. Nonetheless, as long as you elevate that puck, you should be scoring 90% of the time with those one-on-one opportunities. Another thing I've noticed is that if you use the forehand method while elevating your shot, you can score from some pretty cheesy angles, especially if that defenseman is coming up hard from behind. Speaking of angles, I do suggest coming in on more of a diagonal or like a slant rather than just trying to make a move skating head on towards the goaltender. In these clips you'll see that in a majority of them I'm cutting in from the side rather than just skating straight forward from the blue line in. The goalie is also more square to his net when you come at him head on, so again, try to angle yourself and cut in from the side when you have a one-on-one opportunity. Also, the one-handed tucks have been nerfed compared to last year, so unless you're very comfortable with it, I would refrain from trying this on a breakaway. So the key things to remember on breakaways and one-on-ones: cut in on an angle from the side, go backhand, or forehand, forehand, tuck it on that short side once you see the goalie move over. The third and final strategy we're going to be taking a look at today is the short side snipe and the shovel shot. You're probably like, Johnny, what the fuck's a shovel shot? It's about to be a huge tool for how you play offense this year in NHL. Basically all it is a short side snipe, but you're able to score from insane angles and get the goalie moving off that post way more. Now this is such an extremely accurate shot that some kids might consider it a glitch goal. All you have to do is cut into the slot through the hash marks like you would a regular short side snipe, but glide on your backhand and then aim for the top shelf. Yes, glide on your backhand. The shot is so accurate that you're probably going to score bar down 80% of the time. You'll be able to shoot the puck a lot earlier than you would a regular short side snipe because you'll notice that the goalie comes off of his post a lot more, especially with the traffic in front of his net. Now, if you plan on using this over and over, this is really going to frustrate your opponent, so don't be surprised if you get a couple PlayStation or Xbox messages of people calling you a pussy. We've been able to score like this for the past couple of years, mainly in NHL 20, but in NHL 19 it was there as well. This year it's back and better than ever. This is a very special way to score, and I hope you use it to your advantage here in NHL 21. Now, the shovel shot is cool, but maybe you're not comfortable with it or you don't want to use it, so let's show you the basic short side snipe that we've been hitting regularly in previous years. There really isn't much of a difference compared to last year when shooting the short side snipe. It's just once you come out to the hash marks, maybe even a little before, you'll notice the goalie starting to come off that post. That's when you rip that fucker short side top shelf. Last year was shoot high on the glove side, shoot low on the blocker side for short side snipes. I've done that this year, but you can also score high blocker side consistently in NHL 21 as well. Alright, so basically all you're doing is aiming where you want your shot to go with the left analog stick and then shooting with the right analog stick. Obviously, if you're standing still, the shot's going to be way more accurate. You'll get better over time at aiming and skating at the same time. Trust me, keep the short side snipe in your arsenal this year for sure. And the shovel shot too, not a big deal.
Not a big deal.
Alright, so those are the best ways to score this year in my opinion. They have just been the most consistent for me, and I'm hoping they will for you as well. Now, these aren't the only ways you could score this year. You'll still get your deflections and rebounds, and you'll probably dunk on a couple of goalies who dish the puck right out to your players. But these ways just aren't consistent, and you can't count on them to score over and over and over again. Just keep these 3 strategies in mind the next time you load into a game. Make sure you share this video with your friends, and I hope you gain some insight on how to score in NHL 21.